A certified overthinker is what I've called myself for years. Now, though everyone overthinks situations once in a while, for most of my life, I've been plagued by a constant barrage of thoughts all the time. From second guessing my decisions to getting dressed, even sending a simple text. Don't even get me started about content creating and making YouTube videos. You see, overthinking and I are quite acquainted, and I know a thing or two about what it's like to feel like every decision you're about to make is final, and therefore you can't change it, reverse it, or make a better decision later. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with thinking itself or deep thinking. It's an essential part of problem solving, but rather than accepting clouded judgment, inconsistent sleep, and a life that always feels emotionally and mentally drained as normal, I found a few ways to change this destructive thought pattern and overthink less. Believe it or not, there is a single emotion that triggers majority of the thoughts we have that causes us to overthink, even if overthinking isn't a regular occurrence for you. And that emotion is fear. So the first talking point on my list and the encouragement I have for you is to change your view of fear. Now, maybe you're afraid because you've failed before, or you're fearful of trying because you don't want to fail or to feel rejected or embarrassed if things don't work out. Now, I do have a solution for this that we'll talk more about later. But for right now, I want you to remember that every opportunity is a new beginning with a clean canvas. And in that moment, it boils down to a choice you have to make. You can either allow fear to find home in your body and eat away at you, or you can face everything and rise. Number two is to observe without judging. Finding success with overthinking less, in my opinion, starts with acknowledgement first and foremost. So it's noticing when you're stuck in your head and overthinking situations that don't need to be overthought. Now, this acknowledgement or observation is 100% necessary. Again, in my opinion, I am a firm believer that awareness is the beginning of change. So anytime we find ourselves doubting our actions, feeling stressed, feeling stuck, or feeling emotionally and mentally drained, then that's the perfect time to take a step back and take a look at our current situation and surroundings, number one. Number two, decide how we're going to respond. However, the key is not judging yourself because you're overthinking, but how do we not judge ourselves? Great question. It first starts with determining what's influencing our self-judgment. Now, this is usually one of two things. One, our lack of self-belief, or two, our concern about other people's opinion of us. The latter, I've talked extensively about in a past YouTube video about how to mindfully care less of what people think, which I'll link to in the description below. Now, beyond this, we also have to stop overgeneralizing. Experiencing a failure in one situation or making a mistake does not mean we are a failure or a mistake. Now, when it comes to overthinking, not always, but sometimes it's easy to also associate this with thinking that there's something wrong with us. I'm always overthinking, so there must be something wrong with me, right? Well, friend, I'm here to tell you, as a certified overthinker myself, that there's nothing wrong with you. You are fine. Overthinking, on the other hand, is just something we've developed a habit of doing that is rooted in uncertainty, which leads me right into the third point I have for you, and that is to recognize that not every decision you make is final. In life, most decisions we make are not permanent and can be corrected. And I say most because there are some decisions out there that produce outcomes that are more permanent than others. And I think you know what I mean, so we don't have to go there. Other than those outliers, 99% of the decisions we make in life can be reversed and corrected with a better and more informed decision later. So any uncertainty or fear you feel should be put to rest knowing this. However, as overthinkers, it's hard for us to connect those dots at times. As I've said earlier, I know what it's like to feel like every decision you're about to make is final, and therefore that causes you to overthink more because you don't want to make a mistake or make the wrong decision. So a more productive way to navigate your decision making is to use these 5 rules as guidance and as a way to help you make more confident decisions in the first place. Rule number 1 is to test them against your values. So is this decision in alignment with my core values, and does it honor what's most important to me? Now, if you're unsure about your core values, or if you need a refresh, you can download my core values worksheet on my website at ronaldlbanks.com/values. Rule number 2 is to trust your gut. Are you at peace emotionally with this decision, or do you feel a bit funny and uneasy? If something isn't sitting right with you, then that's a feeling you need to pay attention to, because it might be telling you that, hey, this is not smart, this is not the best decision for me, and I should not be doing this. Rule number 3 is to have enough information. You don't need to know everything, and the stars don't have to be aligned before you can make a decision. All you need is enough information to make an informed decision that will move your life or the project you're working on forward. This is a common mistake that is made all the time and a trap I've gotten stuck in for years. It tends to stem from our caution around making a mistake or making the wrong decision. So instead of taking action with information we have, which in majority of situations is more than enough, we instead create new problems that require more information to solve because we're afraid to make a decision altogether. Now, the overthinker in me still occasionally needs a reminder about this. So don't feel bad if you find yourself slipping in and out of this trap. Rule number 4 is to respect your doubts. If you are truly unsure about something, then do more research and ask a few more questions. Respect the doubts you have now so that you can make a more informed decision later. But at the same time, don't allow your doubts to become excuses for why you're not doing something. So you also have to doubt the doubts that are encouraging you to overthink. And rule number 5 brings all of this full circle, and that is to recognize that not every decision you make is final. All right, let's keep this conversation moving. Overthinking often involves two destructive thought patterns: ruminating, so dwelling on the past, and incessant worrying, negative thoughts and predictions about the future. Now, if we're not careful, overthinking can become such a habit of ours that we don't even realize we're doing it. And this is a risky space to be in because it leads to a decrease in productivity and a lack of self-awareness that impacts your entire life and not just your ability to make decisions. Here are the facts. A cluttered mind distances us from clarity. And a cluttered mind is the breeding ground for overthinking, overwhelm, and unnecessary stress. So in my opinion, it is vital that we don't neglect the capacity of our mental space. If we feel unclear or mentally drained, then we have to take that seriously and consider decluttering our mind. For me, the best method of doing this that I found a ton of success with is writing. And to help you find similar success, I created a mental clutter free write exercise that you can download on my website at ronaldlbanks.com/mental clutter. Now, overcoming overthinking is only one element of mastering your mindset. There are actually a few more things you have to combine with it, and that is overcoming fear-driven thinking, scarcity thinking, and a fixed mindset. And in this video, I show you exactly how to do that without overcomplicating the process. So don't skip it if you're serious about changing the way you think beyond overthinking. Keep growing, keep learning, and always stay true to you. I see you over there. Peace.